As we begin to celebrate AAPI month, the OCA Greater Houston is kicking off their 5th annual AAPI Restaurant Weeks. Here to share what this event is all about is Tam Lo with OCA Greater Houston and Chef Lung Lee of 93 Til. Good morning to you both. Thank you so much for coming in. This is such a great time to have this conversation. Before we talk about the delicious food you brought with you, I want to ask first, what is AAPI Restaurant Weeks for those not familiar?
Yeah, AAPI Restaurant Weeks is a 6 weeks long promotional deals where patrons can donate $25 and get to use any of those deals at over 40 restaurant locations. And at the end of it all, we end up donating rice bags, rice noodles, and basic needs items to AAPI seniors across Houston.
Oh my goodness, that's really incredible. The need quite high?
Yeah. I mean, we impacted 1,200 seniors last year.
Wow, that's really incredible. Really incredible. Obviously, this is an important time for us to celebrate the different cuisines of all Asian cultures, and we're fortunate to live in Houston with such a large, one of the largest Asian populations in the nation.
That's correct.
Yeah. What does this mean to you this month as we kick it off?
I think it's pretty amazing that we are now highlighting and
spotlighting,
having some representation. Because there's a lot of people who come here with like very little and to provide for their family and don't get any recognition at all.
Yeah.
And you know, it's cool to highlight that for a month.
It's an opportunity for them to be in the spotlight, but also an opportunity for others to learn more about them, to see and hear what their lives are like. Chef, I want to talk to you about your restaurant. Tell us a little bit about it, how you got started, when you got started, and where things are today.
So I opened up 93 Til. It's in the Montrose area, next to the Manil. We opened in December 2020.
Oh, wow. Middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
How was that?
You know, it was interesting.
Well, you're still here today, right?
Yeah.
That's how it was. Yeah, you're able to thrive and move forward throughout that. That's really awesome.
Yeah, you know, we persevere and, you know, kind of maneuver around the...
Yeah. What are the types of dishes you offer?
We cook seasonally. We switch up our menu a lot by season. And, you know, there's a couple items that we never change, but for the most part, we try to change it every season with the times.
What did you bring with you today?
Today we got our claim to fame, our chicken sandwich. We try to take that off the menu and people lost
They won't let you.
Yeah, it's got cabbage and kale slaw, honey mustard, house pickles, and buttermilk brine.
So it's a fan favorite.
Yeah, it's a fan favorite. We got pork collar steak with blood orange and fennel salsa with candy hazelnut, and sunchoke puree, and we also got a Gulf Coast albacore tuna niçoise salad with some spices, harissa, and olives and fennel.
A lot of flavor here. I want to ask you two questions. One, what inspired you to go into the culinary world? And then also, what inspires you to create dishes like this?
I would say my biggest inspiration is probably my parents.
Your parents?
That's like...
Mom and dad.
I think a lot of Asian cats that grew up here can relate that, you know, we don't get a I love you very often, so their love language is, hey, have you eaten yet? Or, you know, we get the family together, we have a good meal, and that's their love language, and that's my love language as well.
Yeah, that's really awesome. It's incredible to see you take that that love and turn it into something that feeds and fuels our neighborhoods. Talk to us about this month specifically, and what people can do to get involved within our city of Houston, but in these communities that they might not be familiar with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with OCA, we have lots of different programs, and for this month, as a patron, you can visit our website, www.aapirestaurantweeks.com, to make a donation and get these promotions and support and uplift these different independently owned businesses, and hopefully to continue going even afterwards, and bring your friends and your family. And in addition to that, we have other volunteer opportunities for when we start to do the rice distribution as well. So you can sign up through that website too.
Yeah, I know too. Throughout recent years, this month has taken on a new meaning when we shed light on violence that has taken shape in certain cities across the country, directed at this community, and also the opportunities there are to bridge those gaps and come together. Where are things this AAPI month in 2024? Where are we at today?
I think we're still at a point where we're trying to get and make sure our voices are heard, and we have that visibility. But I feel like, with modern media, a lot of movies and films and all these things coming out, it makes people feel a little bit more seen. And for us, it's kind of this new wave of inspiration for us to kind of speak up and be a little louder, and then be a little more adventurous with our food as well.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
A lot of fun to be had. Well, we appreciate you both coming in. Chef Lung Lee and Tam Lo, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
We do appreciate it. It is 8:34. If you head on over to our website, that's clicktohouston.com, you can find a pass that'll give you access to more than 130 participating restaurants. Each visit gets you some points. Earn enough points to get prizes. Everybody loves prizes. We also have a list of restaurants you can visit. And it's not just restaurants, there's also boba shops and ice cream stores. If you're looking for a sweet treat, look for this article on our homepage. It's clicktohouston.com. We'll be right back. 8:38 here in Houston, 9:38 in Washington, D.C. A live look out over the White House this morning. We're just 6 months away from deciding who will be the 47th president of the United States. As election season ramps up, the Commission on Presidential Debate says it's sticking to its planned debate schedule. This comes after the Trump campaign asked the commission to move the dates earlier and then add more dates. In response, former President Trump's campaign managers criticized the commission in a statement. They said refusing to move up the dates of the debates is unacceptable and, quote, a grave disservice to the American public. At the same time, the judge presiding over Donald Trump's hush money case held the former president in criminal contempt for violating a gag order. The judge found Trump committed 9 violations of the gag order through a series of posts on Truth Social attacking witnesses and jurors, as well as offending posts on his campaign website. Trump will be fined $1,000 for each violation, a total of $9,000, and was also ordered to remove the posts.
This gag order is not only unique, it's totally unconstitutional. I'm the Republican candidate for President of the United States. There's no crime. There's no anything here.
The judge warned in his decision he won't tolerate further violations and threatened the former president with potential jail time. This morning, concerns for those along the San Jacinto River near the Harris-Montgomery County line. Overnight, families were rescued out of their homes. You can see some there with their pets. A voluntary evacuation order is in effect. We have a crew in the area. We spoke with TJ Parker at the top of the hour. He's there talking with residents and emergency responders. Joining us right now is meteorologist Jeff Lindner, director of Harris County Flood Control District Flood Operations and Forecast. Jeff, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
So obviously this is a fluid situation. Talk to us, though, about the immediate concern right now.
Yeah, the immediate concern overnight has been the river and the rises in the river. The good news is the river is nearing crest right now, and so the water is at its peak on that West Fork. So from the New Caney State Highway 99 area down to Lake Houston, we're at the crest. And we will see that water start to recede today. We still want people to be very cautious up there as they're moving around. Don't drive into high water. Be very aware of what is going on out in those areas. And then please pay attention to the forecast as we go into tonight. We are expecting additional heavy rainfall, especially north of the metro area, and that could result in renewed rises on the East Fork of the San Jacinto River and also on the West Fork of the San Jacinto River. So we need to be paying attention to that tonight as we expect additional heavy rainfall in the area.
Yeah, so more threats come with that rain.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, like I said, to keep up with the forecast tonight, we've kind of seen this trend over the last 12 to 24 hours of heavy rains returning to the area tonight, especially north of the metro area. And all of these rivers that drain those areas off to the north bring that water down here. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now from Sunday night's rainfall. So we already have saturated grounds. We have high rivers. We don't need additional rainfall, but we're going to see that tonight into tomorrow. And so we need to be paying attention to that. But the good news for today is that what flooding is occurring on the East Fork of the San Jacinto River will be subsiding during the day today and into tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Great perspective. Good information. Jeff, as always, thank you very much for your time. We do appreciate it. Coming up after a quick break, you either love it or you hate it. Galveston and its infamous beaches. Our KPRC2 digital reporter Mariah Ballard is out and about in Galveston, proving why the city is more than just the color of its waters. We'll be right back. 8:45, welcome back. We may soon see some big changes to marijuana restrictions in the U.S. The Justice Department is in talks to reclassify the drug from Schedule 1 down to Schedule 3. Right now, Texas allows marijuana use for medical reasons. Texas Original, Houston's first medical pickup location, opened near the Heights 2 years ago. The reclassification could potentially have a major impact on easing criminal penalties and prison time. Galveston Island has been making headlines and taking the heat on social media after sportscasters Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Chuck Barkley made comments about its beaches. This morning, we sent KPRC2 digital reporter Mariah Ballard down to Galveston, where she's telling us why the island is one of the most beautiful places in Southeast Texas. Mariah, good morning. Hey, before we get into this, I want to tell you, so I remember my first assignment down in Galveston. I was pumped, right? You have the water. I love being near the water. And I was warned, when you get down there, the water is not what you think of when you think of salt water, when you think of the ocean. However, I get there and the water was this spectacular turquoise blue. So I was like, I think y'all are
That's
liars
amazing.
because this is gorgeous.
Definitely. Well, right now on Click to Vote, we have a mega poll for you guys. We want you guys to go and vote and check in 1 through 5 how much you love Galveston. Like we said, sportscaster Shaquille O'Neal and Chuck Barkley, they were throwing some major shade this week about the city of Galveston and its beaches. But I think the Islanders here, they have a special gem on their hands, y'all. It's beautiful. They have food and everything is up and coming. So we're going to be checking it out. We're going to be talking to some people from the city of Galveston at 9:05. But get this, Beyonce's mom, Tina Knowles, clapped back at Charles Barkley, talking about this is her hometown, okay? She is proud to be born on the island. And if you look behind us, we have these murals. There's beautiful things going on in the city, the island of Galveston. I hope you guys stay tuned because I think that the CEO of the tourism division is going to tell us some details about Galveston that we may have never thought of or even known. So Zach, I'm going to be looking for the blue water while we're during this little break, while we're waiting for the next show, and I'm trying to see what the Islanders do out here. What are you guys doing on the island? I'll check back in with you guys then.
That sounds like a great plan. You know, every time I go down to Galveston, I have a wonderful time, whether it's to the beach, to the seawall, right?
Yes.
Or the Strand, which is right behind you. The history is also of great importance to our Southeast Texas region. I mean, I think, what's there not to like about Galveston? I'm excited to have this conversation with you.
For sure.
Coming up at 9 o'clock. Mariah,
Yes,
thank
Shaq,
you.
Chuck Barkley,
Yeah.
we're coming for you guys.
Yeah, I
Don't
hope they're
talk about
listening.
us.
They better
we
be
got
listening.
some pretty cool things going on.
Okay, all good stuff. And of course, we want to hear your thoughts on the great old Galveston debate. Yes, no, maybe sometimes. You can join the conversation inside this article on our website, clicktohouston.com. 8:48 on our Wednesday morning. We'll be right back. 8:52, welcome back. A huge day in store for our animal friends and caretakers at Houston Zoo. This is a live look into the giraffe exhibit where the newest member of the giraffe family was born. The baby's name, right, has been revealed as Tino, and he's 160 pounds. Get this, already 6 feet tall. He's a giraffe, so it makes sense, right?
Bigger than me.
Right? And me. We're told his mom, Camille, is doing well and adjusting into her new role as mom. Tino, excuse me, not Tina. Tino.
That's
Tino.
actually my nickname.
Tina?
Yes.
Ah, good to know. Tina and Tino. Maybe you should do a little
story
when
on
Tino gets a
Tino.
little older. Yeah, Tina will have to meet Tino. Tina will spend mornings with the herd in the McGovern giraffe habitat, and then I'm hearing he'll be with mom during the afternoons to continue that bonding behind the scenes. It's really special.
so sweet.
I wish they released Kate,
Like photos.
producer Kate. Have they released any photos of Tino? Not yet. Okay, so we're gonna have to stay tuned.
Yeah, we gotta stay tuned. That's a good one, the follow-up one. I feel like whenever we look at the giraffe enclosure, they're never walking around at 8
Right.
o'clock.
I also, every time we take a look at this live camera, I see ostriches. Never
Really?
giraffe.
Are they in like the same area?
I don't know. Apparently they're buddies. I don't know. Or unless they just, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, hopefully we can see some pictures of Tino pretty soon. It'd be really cute
Yeah,
to see.
very, very big baby, it sounds
Yes.
like. Well, normal for a giraffe, but
Yeah.
big for us.
We have a problem if that's gonna be the case.
Baby size.
Okay, moving north to Nebraska, volunteers there are helping rebuild their community from those devastating tornadoes, and they're also reuniting missing pets with their owners. Take a listen. Oh my goodness. That is video you can feel, right?
Yeah.
The emotion. Oh my goodness.
And it's hard because I'm sure for them it was a very traumatic experience, but then not to know
Where they are.
where they
right?
are. It's
Right?
like you can only imagine.
For both the pets and the people. You know, this morning when we saw that those images come out of the San Jacinto River area on the Montgomery-Harris County line, we saw all those dogs in kennels, and you know they were talking about evacuating people, but also their pets.
Yeah.
And it's devastating to see. It's so wonderful to know, though. They've been reunited. Volunteers at Muddy Paw Rescue combed through the woods. This was near that area destroyed because of those tornadoes to find several pets who had been separated from their homeowners, or their owners, excuse me, after their homes were destroyed. So the pet owner you just saw reunite with her dog, Wrigley, says he escaped from her husband during the storms because he, of course, was so scared.
Yeah. And it's
He came
amazing
home to get the animals in the basement. He got the cats in there. Wrigley was down there, but he got spooked and ran back up the stairs before David could grab him.
Yeah, and it's amazing because I know you said the organization got out there and was going through to find these pets. So it's just a testament of how everybody can help in some sort of way. I know when I worked in Nashville, tornadoes were happening often, so it's always good to see the brighter side at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, apparently Wrigley has a brother named Buddy, and the owner says before the storms, the two of them did not get along. And he's hoping the tornado brought them closer together. Yeah. So fingers crossed, but really happy to see that they've all been reunited. We also want to talk about something you might not see every day. A set of twins in Mississippi are making school history. You might ask why? Well, they're both graduating with the school's top honors. One is valedictorian, the other is salutatorian.
Wow. I mean, the thing is, Lauren and Landon Smith are less than a month away from graduation.
goodness.
For 18 years, the twins have competed with each other and motivated each other in many ways. Back in May, Lauren will graduate as the valedictorian. For his part, Landon will be the salutatorian. Wow, that's such
Salutatorian, yeah, I know. So
I've never even heard of that, so that's how you can tell.
number two, yeah.
Landon says he's disappointed to lose to his sister, but he's happy for her.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of competition there, right?
Sure.
brothers.
A lot of competition.
Oh, man.
Imagine if they were both boys or both girls. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. My nephews are twins, and it's always a competition.
Yeah, always a competition. Thank you so much for joining us at 8. We'll see you back here in just a few minutes for the news at 9. Yeah, that would...
Welcome to KPRC 2 Plus now at 9. We're going live to the White House right now. President Joe Biden has wiped away another $6 billion in student loan debt. This time, it might help Houstonians who attended the Art Institute of Houston, which is now closed.
And from the East Coast to the West Coast we go. A live look now out over UCLA's campus. This is in California, of course, where pro-Palestinian protests continue. You can see a group there, the encampment actually. Similar protests are popping up at universities across the country. Some of these scenes turning into crime scenes. We, of course, will have the latest during the 9 o'clock hour.
And back here in Texas, a live look at Dallas this morning. Well, we were going to talk about thunderstorms, but what is this that we're talking about?
This might be one of those rallies, those protests happening.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't. So they maybe took a shot of something else that wasn't even Dallas. Sorry about that.
We are tracking inclement weather. I know people along the Montgomery-Harris County line that were hit hard overnight. More rain is expected, so that's good information to know. With that, the water is continuing to rise along the San Jacinto River. This is in the New Caney area, happening right now.
Yeah, and already several people have been rescued from their homes in a neighborhood just south of FM 1485. That's where our TJ Parker is live. TJ, what are you seeing now? Is that people being taken away?
Well, yeah, we're actually watching one of these rescues taking place right now. You can see behind me this gentleman who is with his 6 dogs here being rescued by some emergency crews out here at this neighborhood off of 1415, or just south of 1415, that is. Actually, what happened was this gentleman who you see here, we saw him walking through the floodwaters, which is just beyond this vehicle here. He had lost his phone. He was trying to get some help. He said his dogs were still back in his RV, which is a little bit closer to the San Jacinto River. We actually were able to call the Huffman Fire Department to get a crew out here for him because he did not have a way of contacting somebody. So thankfully, they were out here within a matter of 10-15 minutes, and you see them here now helping this man and his 6 dogs here. And this has really been the case this morning. This isn't the first time we have seen a rescue and have brought it to you live. In the 7 a.m. hour, we also saw one as well where they were, the emergency crews were also rescuing 3 people at the other side of this neighborhood here. So there have been a lot of rescues this morning, and it's something we have been telling you about all morning long. I want to take you to this video too. We also saw this earlier. This is some dogs that when we first got here on scene this morning, this was another group of people who were rescued. So altogether, the fire chief tells us they have rescued 8 people and 23 dogs as of 9 o'clock last night. Now, a voluntary evacuation order was put into place. We did talk to several people already who said that they were definitely not taking any chances and decided to get out. And good thing that they did, because this neighborhood is flooded here, and the water looks like it has been going down just a slight bit. But as soon as we got here, we noticed the water was rising quickly, and that's when we saw those rescues. Take a listen to this woman we just spoke with maybe about an hour ago, talking about how she made the decision to leave yesterday.
They told us from the morning, and they had police and rescue and fire out here saying, you know, please evacuate, get your things.
All right, so back out here live. Again, it looks like they're about to take these folks away. We know that a shelter has been set up not too far away from here on Corpus Christi Road. I can pull that up real quick if anybody who's listening is in need of a place to go to shelter. This place is called the Leon Grayson Baldtree Community Center. Again, that's located on Corpus Christi Street. Not sure where this gentleman is going. He has some dogs, and from what we understand, dogs aren't allowed in the shelters there. But good thing that these folks are out here, these emergency crews from Huffman Fire Department, to help this guy out. Again, they're asking if you're in the area, do be mindful that some of these roads are closed because of the high water. The water, though, is expected to recede, hopefully, by tomorrow. Guys.
Yeah, I know we can see sunshine in your live shot, but talking with Jeff Linder earlier during the 8 o'clock hour, he was saying this area is expecting more rain in the overnight hours. So folks there are going to want to be mindful and, of course, be prepared.
Yeah, probably just a best idea to avoid that area for now. As TJ's pointing out, there are flooded roads. But yeah, I just my heart breaks for the people they're loading up, you know, right now, that guy and his 6 dogs. And they said there's been 8 people and 23 dogs before him. So pretty sad situation out there.
Okay, TJ, thank you so much for that live report. We do appreciate it.
Huffman's wanting us to get out of there. All right, stay up to date with the KPRC2 Storm Tracker app. It is free to download. Just scan the QR code right there on your screen or search for KPRC wherever you get your apps. Justina.
Hey, good morning. So if you're traveling on the east side of the Beltway, you're probably just sitting in this mess. But if you do have to head this way, I would ask you to avoid it. This is just at I-10 heading in those southbound lanes. We've had a crash sitting off to that left shoulder for some time now, and several lanes completely blocked off. So if you are heading out this way, do expect to have to merge off to the right into at least 1 to 2 lanes. When it comes to your overall commute, things starting to clear up a bit. A lot of those delays just centering around the loop itself. And heads up, we do have one accident to get to this morning. If you're traveling on the East Tex, that's northbound just at State Highway 242, impacting an exit ramp. Back to you.
Okay, Justina, thank you very much for that information. All good information. Well, it's over. This is according to HPD's top cop. He's talking about the controversial internal affairs investigation into Houston's suspended sex assault cases. This was back in February when more than 4,000 sexual assault investigations were suspended because of what was called a lack of manpower. Chief Troy Finner said in a statement the next step is to have the investigative file reviewed by members of the Independent Police Oversight Board and the Administration Disciplinary Committee. He's also looking for recommendations from those 2 review panels and will update the public in the next 2 weeks. Head on over to our website, that's clicktohouston.com. To get a timeline of the investigation, all you have to do is search HPD deactivated cases.
The funeral for a fallen Harris County Sheriff's deputy is happening today. Deputy John Cadu was hit by a truck and killed while helping at a crash scene on the Grand Parkway last week. He served for 20 years. The service will take place at Second Baptist Church on the Katy Freeway at 1 p.m. After, there will be a graveside service at Forest Park Southwest Cemetery in Richmond.
This morning, the Environmental Protection Agency is continuing its investigation into a cancer cluster in 5th Ward and Kashmere Gardens.
This is a story that we at KPRC2 have been covering extensively over the past few years. Now, Kathy Hernandez is live at the 5th Ward Multi-Service Center where the EPA gave residents an update. What did they tell residents, Kathy?
Good morning to you, Haley and Zach. The EPA says that they have found harmful chemicals here in the community's water and soil. They do say their next step now is going home by home, testing yards. The residents here say they'll continue fighting for action and transparency.
Well, we need to make sure that we're taking care of our community members, our senior citizens, and especially our kids who are going to move history forward in the 5th Ward community.
That's James Joseph, who has lived in 5th Ward for 25 years. He says he's frustrated now, and the information from the EPA and other officials has been confusing for some residents. The EPA hosted a meeting last night to give an update to residents about what their data has found and their steps moving forward. The agency says they'll continue to collect information so they can determine how to address the problems here in the 5th Ward community.
I understand communities' interest. I understand their hesitation in interest in wanting to move it quicker. We want to make sure it is done correctly. We want to make sure we're delivering the project at the end of the day.
And again, the EPA now says they'll go to hundreds of homes testing the yards. They expect their investigation to be complete by the end of the year. So, of course, right now they just hope that residents can be patient. Reporting live in 5th Ward, Kathy Hernandez, KPRC2 News.
Okay, Kathy, thank you. We want to go live now to Houston's first medical marijuana pickup store. For the first time in more than 50 years, the U.S. could ease restrictions on marijuana. The Justice Department says it wants to reclassify the drug as lower risk. Right now, Texas allows marijuana use for medical reasons. The move would send the drug from the most severe Schedule 1 classification down to Schedule 3, which can be lawfully prescribed as medication like Tylenol and codeine. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back. You've heard of Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, and of course, millennials. This morning, we're talking about Gen Z specifically, young people who were born between the years 1997 and 2012, who recently entered the workplace during or shortly after COVID-19 pandemic. They make up about 12% of today's workforce. Joining us this morning to talk about Gen Z in the workplace are two KPRC2 employees, my 8 o'clock producer, Kate Katuiza, and producer Mark Gutierrez of The Noon Show. Thank you both for coming in, taking the time. I know you're both very busy, so we appreciate this. But you know, we talked about this during the 5 o'clock hour this morning. This was a story that I covered. And so I thought this would be fascinating to host this conversation, to hear from you, to hear directly from you guys on what life is like, especially entering the workforce. So when we talk about entering the workforce, the workplace during COVID-19, when and where was your first job?
For me, I was a freelance videographer and editor for a local LLC here in Houston. And I kind of just ran around like a camera jockey, just shooting what I could, editing what I could, and then just...
During the pandemic?
During the pandemic, yeah.
During the pandemic. Kate?
So for me, I was still in college when the pandemic hit. It was my freshman year of college, and I graduated in 3 years, so essentially my college experience got cut in half. So I didn't get much of the opportunity to, you know, get those real life experiences and, you know, the internships and stuff, because a lot of them were very, you know, minimal, or they barely had any, or canceled. Exactly. And so when I graduated in 2022, I just was like a travel nanny for a year. You know, I was really just, I took like a gap year just to figure out where am I going to go, because what I did in college was really great. You know, I had a very, very blessed program at college, but a lot of the places that I was applying to was requiring like these real personal, like actual work experience that I didn't get the opportunity to do, and it took me a while, for sure. It took me over like 14 months until I actually landed a job here.
And I know you're not alone. During my report this morning, I think, I don't remember the exact number, I want to say it was like 77% though, of Gen Zers talk about how challenging it was to get their foot in the door at that first job because of the reasons you're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. I know, because it took so long for me, and my mom was like asking me all the time, she's like, are you applying? Are you applying? You can't be a nanny forever. And I was like, yes, Mom, I'm applying. You know, I was doing photography, and I was like,
come do this for me, Mom, if you don't believe it.
I know, and I was like doing photography on the side just to, you know, keep up with my portfolio and, you know, making videos with another freelance video company as well here in Houston. And it was just, you know, a very lucky opportunity to work here too.
And it took a minute just to get into this door. I had to track down and harass the original news director, and finally nailed a dinner with him. And it took a minute though, like going into freelance and trying to get into someplace bigger, and I got really lucky getting a job here. So it took a lot of time, took a lot of effort, and the pandemic really kind of slowed it down, because this is the point where we're supposed to like jump and really just shoot forward and like tackle the workforce by storm. But the pandemic happened, and everyone told us, okay, you have to go inside and you have to work from the office. Well, I don't have an office to work at. So.
Yeah, this certainly is unique. I know listening to you speak, though, I'm thinking, well, this sounds a lot like television, period. I think back to my days trying to find a job, and that was my experience. I did not have a pandemic. We've talked about the disadvantages here. Talk to us really quick about the opportunities, though, the advantages you have over other generations.
I like to think that we're a lot more open-minded when we came into it. We came into it just not really thinking about, you know, who people are, you know, based off of, you know, what we can see, but it's more of what they can do, what are their ideas, what can they bring to the table. And I kind of think that allowed us to be more open and more welcoming to a lot of other communities. And yeah, that's where I see the value in that.
The 9 o'clock producer is wrapping me, but before we wrap this up, I do want to also add that I know this generation, you guys prioritize mental health, especially in the workforce. You also prioritize that work-life balance, which many generations have not in the past.
Yeah, I think for me, for sure, I know that there's always going to be a job that I can work at eventually, but when it comes to my mental health, I think this is the same for all Gen Zers. We definitely put ourselves first. Because we saw like the past generations, especially our parents, who would overwork themselves. And so taking that time in our careers, especially when we know that we're at like hey, we need to take a day off because we have so much going on in our minds, we definitely prioritize that. And I think that's what, we should be doing. We make it normalized. And I love the fact that it's really becoming more common for people to really put their mental health first and that work-life balance.
Okay. All good stuff. As a millennial, welcome. We appreciate having you around. I think Haley would agree with me on some things. Right?
Yeah.
With that, yeah. We love having them around. They bring so much to the table.
They are,
especially the mental health
I believe
component.
that actually millennials probably were trying to come up with a lot of these ideas first. We were the minority. Now there's a support coming behind us, and this is the majority belief. I think all adults kind of believe in this now. Thanks, Zach.
All good stuff.
All right, we're going to go live to Galveston as it's making social media headlines right now. And this morning we sent KPRC2 digital reporter Mariah Ballard there, and she's telling us why the island is beautiful. Mariah, do we have you?
Hey, Haley. Hey, Zach. We are definitely here on the island having a great time, and we are putting Shaq and Chuck Barkley to rest. We are putting their comments to rest. We are here to prove to you that Galveston is one of the most beautiful places in Southeast Texas. Joining me now is CEO of Visit Galveston, Kimberly Denacey.
You got it.
Beautiful, and she's going to tell us a little bit. So let's start off. What is the history of Galveston, and why is it so important to Southeast Texas?
Yeah, Galveston has been very important to Texas in general for a long time. Galveston was known as the Wall Street of the South. Today it's known as the playground of the South. People love coming to the island not only for our beautiful beaches, but also for the history, the culture, a lot of assets that we have as far as restaurants are concerned. So it's a great place to come and visit and to live.
Oh, wow. And so we're in front of the water now. We see that it might not be the bluest, so maybe they were a little bit correct. But I've seen people out here since 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock getting in this water. Tourists come from near and far to jump in this water. So the people in Galveston know it is safe, even though the color might not be good.
Right.
It's still beautiful. So talk about the tourists that come and check us out.
Sure. So Galveston, we see about 8 million visitors a year to the island. So with a resident population of 50,000, a lot of the people that you see on the beach are visitors who might be here for the first time, or maybe they're repeat visitors. And what's great about our beaches is that, yes, the water can sometimes be brown, but it's healthy. The beaches are very healthy. We're constantly checking the water quality. We just checked it this week. It's in good shape. And the other thing about the Galveston beaches is that they're home to a lot of endangered species on the island. And so we want to make sure that they're protected. So when you see the natural seaweed on the beaches, that's really important for nesting sea turtles, for birds that call Galveston home. And the beaches are just a great place to come and relax and just, have a good time.
I love that. So really quickly, if you wanted to tell somebody who's planning that family trip, that girls trip, what else would you tell them about Galveston?
Yeah,
Invite them out.
Exactly. We're not just about beaches. We have a wonderful historic downtown shopping area. There's a ton of restaurants down there. There's arts, there's visual arts. There's a grand opera house down in Galveston. And then here along the seawall, we have tons of attractions like the Pleasure Pier. We have restaurants, we have shops. Moody Gardens is out on the west end of the island with the rainforest. If it's a rainy day, you can go inside and have fun.
Wow.
There's tons of things to do here on the island.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Guys, don't forget to check out click2vote.com right now and rate Galveston 1 through 5. How much you love it. I'm going to be checking in on those ratings later. I'm giving it a 5 stars, I think. I'm going to give it a 5
always
stars,
a 5
guys.
star.
Back to you.
They are true to my heart. 1.8. That's a joke. Get on there and vote, you guys.
1.8?
All right, still ahead, we're going to be talking about a fierce local competition and how you can support this fun battle after the break. But don't forget to vote for Galveston, going back to that story. All right, starting tomorrow night, some of Houston's top emerging drag artists and performers are going to battle it out in a fierce competition. Joining us live to explain more is local drag artist and host Persephone. Tell us about this event and the participants. What can we expect to see?
Hi, Haley. So this is a 9-week drag competition starting with our new partner over at Luster Pearl in East Downtown. This competition mirrors similar televised drag competitions on television in the sense that we have weekly challenges, weekly performances. It's really exciting. I mean, every week we have a brand new runway challenge, we have a brand new performance challenge, and it really tests these artists to test their creativity and their boundaries and try to get them to achieve much higher, things that they normally wouldn't do outside of this competition.
Yeah, nice. I think we're seeing the poster for it now. It looks so beautiful. How long is this competition going to last? Where is it happening? Like, if people are interested in going, how do they get more information?
So they can follow me on Instagram at Persephone Queen XO. It is going to be at Luster Pearl in East Downtown. Again, it is a 9-week competition, so it will be ending the very last week of June. It's every Thursday at 9 o'clock. And we do have 11 contestants from all sorts of backgrounds, from theater, self-taught. It's really just a fun show. So
yeah, and this is season 3. So how do you think that this season is going to be different compared to what people might have seen in the past?
I mean, bigger and better. It's bigger
Always.
And better. That's what it is. I mean, we have a much bigger space now. We have bigger prizes. Like that is our season 1 winner, Mary Jane. And we started at a much smaller venue. And I mean, this competition has grown in much bigger ways. Our prizes are bigger. Also, with our lovely sponsors, we have a lot more incentives to get these artists more prizes and bookings and jobs. So it really benefits the community.
Nice. And what kind of prize could the winner receive?
So we work with a lot of local designers and also wig designers. One of the wig designers that we are working with actually makes wigs for RuPaul's Drag Race. They make shows for We Are Here on HBO. They will be sponsoring a wig. We're also going to be having, like I said, some local costume artists donate costumes to our winners. They're going to be receiving a lovely cash prize and lots of bookings and shows throughout the year.
So yeah, my next question was going to be, how is this going to help drag artists and performers in our community? But is the idea mostly so that they can continue to book throughout the year?
Well, not necessarily just bookings. One of the things that I pride myself on is a lot of my shows aren't in your stereotypical, Montrose. The Montrose area is known for being quite like the LGBTQIA haven. And I really want to push those boundaries and take drag outside of the city. I want to be in East Downtown. I want to be in the Heights. I want to be, in the South. I want to push boundaries, and I want people to know that these artists can thrive anywhere. Mm-hmm. I mean, really, it's about, especially as we're coming around with like Pride season and like everything that happened in Texas last year with drag artists, it's really important for me to, just have visibility for these artists, visibility for myself, and visibility for these shows. And so, yes, they are getting a lot of work, but we're also getting visibility for our community.
All right, our host, Persephone, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
I hope you have a good day.
Thank you. You too. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Talk to you soon.
All right, we are we ready to go to?
Severe thunderstorm
yeah, so we are live at Robinson Elementary in Cypress this morning. You can kind of hear Anthony Yanez starting to talk because he is getting ready for his weekly weather lab. So we'll bring you his last live visit of this school year right after this break.
I'm going to
time to check in with KPRC2 meteorologist Anthony Yanez for his weekly and this time final school visit.
Yeah, he's live at A. Robinson Wood Elementary in Cypress for his weather lab. Anthony and the students will experiment with the fun side of STEM on KPRC2 Plus now. Anthony?
Zach and Haley, hey, I want to welcome you. We are at Cy-Fair ISD at A. Robinson Elementary School. I have some very special fifth graders to introduce to you. Would you guys all say hi? So, this is our very last school visit, a live school visit for the school year. So we started this at the beginning of the school year. We did an experiment. We wanted to see what it would be like. I've done school visits going back to 2003, and I wanted to see what it would be like to do these live. And we've done these. We've learned so much. And every week we've had kids do live weather. We have 3 special individuals who are going to do it coming up. But what I wanted to talk about today is more on a serious note, because we do have some flood threats that I want to make you all aware of, and especially for the kids. So first of all, when we talk about the forecast for tomorrow morning, when you're coming into school, depending when you're coming in or when your parents are going to work, especially if they're early going to work between 5, 6, 7 a.m., we have a flood risk for Southeast Texas. And we're going to see some rain amounts go all the way north of us, north of Cypress here. Some areas could get 5 to 8 inches of rain. For where we are, we could very easily see 2 to 4 inches of rain. And so whenever we get rain here in Southeast Texas, it is really easy to flood. One of the reasons it's so easy to flood is because where you're standing right now, there is more of a slope on this floor than most places in Southeast Texas. And what I mean is we're really flat. So when it rains and it rains heavy, the water has nowhere to go. And so it just piles up. It can't get through the drains fast enough. And so what happens is a lot of our neighborhoods can look like this with just a short amount of time with a high amount of rain. And so what I want you to remember more than anything else, you guys are fifth graders, you're older kids, you're smart, is number one. The number one lesson is don't play in flooded waters. It's tempting because there's going to be a pool outside where there's normally not a pool, and it's dry, and it is fun to play in. But I want to show you some things, or tell you about some things that are dangerous. First of all, this is incredibly dangerous. These are some kids that look about your age, 5th grade. So first of all, you've got someone in a truck. You've got someone hanging out of the truck. You've got someone in the back of the truck who is taping it all. And then you have 2 kids, and I don't know if you can see them because it's kind of tough, but you have 2 kids who are your age in white shirts with white water who are hanging on hydroplaning in the flooded water because why? It's fun. But it's incredibly dangerous. How many things can go wrong in this if the truck speeds up and they let go? And this guy, if he decides not to pay attention for a second, these guys are going into water that they can't see. Now, I'll tell you, nothing bad happened in this. Someone sent this to me and said, well, nothing happened. They had their fun and then they stopped doing it. But this is incredibly dangerous. And so the number one lesson, more than anything else, what I want you to remember when I leave here is number 1, don't play in flooded water. Say it with me. Don't play in flooded water. This is an extreme example here. I want to show you another one not as extreme. So what is this? It's flooded water, but what is this? Usually 5th graders get this pretty quick. Yes. Ants? Is that what you said? Ants. If I do this talk with 2nd graders, they usually say poo. They say an urchin, cow manure. What's the white on top? Yes. Yep, the larvae and the eggs. So with ants, ants are like me. They don't like getting wet. They don't like getting wet at all. So what happens is the least important of the ants all kind of lock arms, tentacles together, and the ants that are a little more important get on top of them. And the ants that are a little more important get on top of them. And the ants that are a little more important get on top of them. And eventually you get the queen on top, and then you get the babies, or the unborn babies, on top. And so they're floating above the water, in flooded water. Under them, if it was dry, there'd be an ant hill, an ant pile. So you guys got that. If you, if you were to play in flooded water and you were to go over this, you know what you are, suddenly you're a dry island and you can get bit really easy. You wouldn't go necessarily to a hospital, but We gave you an extreme example of hydroplaning in the water, and not an extreme example where you're getting bit by hundreds of ants, and that's a pain, and it hurts for those of us who've been bit by ants before. Now this is for our teachers. We've got a lot of teachers here today. Don't drive in water if you don't know how deep it is. This is a question that I don't know the answer to. When I look at this, and we had a great example of this last week, that there was a 25 drop of just the road went out, and it went down 25 feet, and it was dark, and when you looked at that shot, all it looked like was a puddle of water. There was actually no water around. It was a 25-foot drop if you would have driven your car through that. So for teachers, and you guys are in 5th grade, and eventually one day you're going to drive, don't drive in water if you don't know how deep it is. I don't know how deep this is. I don't know if it's a couple of inches. I don't know if that's a bridge and the bridge is out and then it goes off into the water. But if you don't know how deep it is, don't drive through it, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong. First of all, some big cars can make it, but some big cars can't. So even if you have a big car in your family, sometimes you can't make it through. Here's a big, huge truck. A kid your age, and the water completely knocked them off the road. So how powerful is water? How powerful is flooded water? The number one lesson is do not play in flooded water. And then when you grow up, you have to take it serious also, because there's a lot of dangers that can occur. 2 feet of water will make your car float. The problem with our cars is they're not meant to float. So they get water in their engine, and they will cost, on old cars, $2,000 to $4,000 worth of damage once water gets in your engine. We had, before we started, a handful of kids ask questions about thunderstorms, so I want to address that. So if you hear thunder, and you will, tomorrow morning a lot of us are going to be awakened by that rumble of thunder, the safest place to be is in your home, school, or car. So if you're in your bed and you hear a thunder, lightning flashes all over the place, you're in the safest spot to be. This room is a safe spot to be, because our houses, most of them, almost all of them, are grounded, or this school is grounded. So if the school gets hit by lightning, the electricity will go around the school, will go outside the school, and will go into the ground. At your house, it will hit your house, it'll go outside your house, it will go into the ground. Now sometimes it'll hit little things like certain outlets, and that's why you have power surges. If you have those outlets that have a bunch of outlets there, those are power surges. They protect your television or your refrigerator, for example. But you have those, and that can be a problem sometimes, but you'll be protected. The most important thing is you guys are okay. So the safest place to be is in your home, school, and then also I'm going to ask you a question coming up here about vehicles. So this is a lightning strike in slow motion. Did you see how it vaned out, but it hit once? You can watch this again. And this is slowed down. Usually it's just a flash that you see. Here it comes, veins out. There's one connection there, and there's your lightning strike. Here's how lightning forms. Someone was asking about different types of lightning. But on a day in the summer where it starts with clear skies, the sun heats the ground. As the ground heats up, clouds start to condense. If it's cold up here in the upper levels of the atmosphere, those clouds will keep building up. If they keep building up and keep building up more water content inside the cloud, eventually you'll get rain, and then you'll also get lightning. But this is how lightning forms. Now, on a day like tomorrow, because it's not happening during the daytime, it's because it's called a mesoscale convective system, so it's an entire system, storm system, that's coming in at nighttime, and it's just bringing rain and lightning, thunderstorms. But this is basically during the summertime. Comes by heat and then storms. Here's why lightning forms. This morning, the atmosphere is in balance. I am in balance. So if I could stand here like this all day long. I would get tired, I would get bored, and I would get hungry, but I could stand like this because I'm pretty balanced. If I did this all of a sudden, what am I? I am out of balance. I'm trying to get balanced. You see me trying to make sure I'm balanced, so I'm trying to balance on my left leg. So I'm balanced, but the way I'm balancing is I'm moving around. Eventually, I couldn't do this all day. Eventually, I would lose my balance, and what would I have to do? That's the lightning strike. So what's happening is, on a day like this morning, skies like this. tomorrow morning, the atmosphere is going to get out of balance. As it gets out of balance, the way it gets in balance is that it lets out lightning to balance itself. With a big, huge system like tomorrow, it's getting out of balance, in balance, out of balance, in balance, and that's why there's going to be thousands of lightning strikes early tomorrow morning. The atmosphere is always trying to balance itself, so it's like a battery. You have positive and negative. That's perfectly balanced, but once you have positive, negative, and positive, it's out of balance, and the only way the atmosphere can get balanced is by letting out lightning strikes. There's your positive and positive. So don't be outside. Here you are. You have clouds moving in, you have thunderstorms, and then there you are getting struck by lightning. The worst place to be during storms is outside. Safe inside this building, safe in your house. Never stand under tall trees. A lot of people think that it's a myth that lightning is attracted to like silverware, or not silverware, shiny things like a necklace, a pretty necklace, a shiny necklace. It's not true. Some people think lightning only hits once in one place. That's not true. Lightning usually hits the tallest thing out there. And if you're not in downtown with a bunch of tall buildings around you, usually the tallest thing outside are the trees. Ants and me don't like getting wet, and so when it rains, a lot of times we go under trees to stay dry. But with thunderstorms, that's the worst place to be, because you don't even have to be hit by the lightning strike. Just the tree can get hit, and the electricity can go to the ground. As I mentioned, it goes to the ground, and it can still hit you away from the tree. So here's an example. Don't hide under tall trees. The ground current. So the lightning is hitting the tree, but look how the current's going out. So if you're under the tree and not even touching the tree, but right here, just under some leaves, you can still get struck and hurt by lightning. Okay, is it safe in your car? Everyone who thinks it's safe in your car, raise your hand. During a thunderstorm. So if your parents pick you up or you're in your school bus, driving home, is it safe to be in a vehicle? Raise your hand. Don't be ashamed. It's okay. Okay, so if you think it's not safe to be in your car during a thunderstorm, that the only safe places are inside the school, inside your house. So about 50-50. Here's your answer. It is safe in a car. It's not because of the rubber tires. A lot of people think, mistakenly, I mentioned a myth, that if you have rubber shoes, oh, I won't get hurt by lightning. No, you can get really hurt by lightning. A lot of people think the tires on your car, the tires have nothing to do with it. It's metal. Your car, an airplane, when airplanes actually get hit by lightning all the time, but when your car gets hit by lightning, your car acts like what's called a Faraday cage. I think you'll learn about this in chemistry in middle school. We were talking about middle school a little bit ago. In middle school, metal conducts that electricity outside the car. So if the car gets hit, the electricity travels around it, into the ground. It goes through the tires. Tires don't protect you, though. It's the metal inside the car. I actually had my friend, he was on a trip, and his car got struck by lightning. It trashed the radio. So his radio was trashed. He was safe. It was loud. It was bright. But nothing else happened. The car actually kept working, no problems whatsoever. But the electrical system, the radio, is what didn't work anymore. But he was safe. So your car is safe. So if you're coming into school and there's lightning everywhere, you're safe. The second you step out of that car and there's lightning everywhere, you're not safe. You got it. Good. Let's see how smart you are. So I have, you guys are 5th graders, so I need some people to help me with this. First of all, tomorrow's a good example. We're at home. We see a flash of light. We see the lightning strike. And it takes 10 seconds to hear the thunder. How far away is that lightning strike? So yes, let's come on up. Yep, right there. Okay, remember, so we're live, so you have to make it quick, otherwise we'll run out of time. So everyone come up quick. Okay, what's your name?
Miles.
Miles. Okay, Miles. We're here. We see a lightning flash there. We count to 10. 10 seconds go by. How far away is that lightning strike?
10 miles.
10 miles. Okay, good. Good guess. Stay here, Miles. Stay here. I want one more person to help me. I want a girl this time. Come on up. Yes. Stay here, Miles. Miles, you're here. Stay next to me. Okay, what's your name? Nicole, everyone say hi to Nicole. Hi. Okay, Nicole, lightning flash, 10 seconds. Thunder, how far away?
Maybe like 12 miles?
12 miles. 10 miles, 12 miles. You guys ready for the answer? Yes. Okay, here it is. How far away is lightning? Every 5 seconds is 1 mile. Lightning is the speed of light. It's a flash, it's instant. Sound waves are incredibly slow. It takes forever for sound to move. So every 5 seconds, that sound of thunder is going 1 mile. In 10 seconds, it is going 2. In 15 seconds, 3. In 20 seconds, 4. So sometimes we'll see a flash, 20 seconds goes by, and we're like, that thing is forever away. And it's actually only 4 miles away. So when you hear thunder, when thunder roars, where should you be? Indoors, inside. Can everyone remember that? Sound is really slow. Good job. Thanks for helping me. Okay. Got another help. I need some more help on this. How big is lightning? Okay, we're talking size now. So we see a lightning flash. Is that lightning flash, we're talking about width, could I hug it? Is it as big as this room? Is it huge? Is it small? I need 2 people to help me get a boy and a girl. So let's see. Make sure, and have a good answer, or have a good, well thought out what you think it is. Okay, come on up. And then a boy. Boy. Okay, come on up. Okay, what's your name?
Lean.
I'm sorry?
Lean.
Lean?
Yeah.
Okay, Lean. Okay, how big is lightning?
About like 5 inches.
5 inches. Show them with your hands. Show me 5 inches with your hands.
About the size of my hand. Like,
Right there. Okay. She's saying lightning is that thick. Okay. What's your name?
John.
John. How big is lightning?
10 inches, I think.
10 inches. Show me 10 inches with your hands. Okay. So we got 5 inches. We have 10 inches. Just raise your hand. Who thinks it's bigger than 10 inches? A lot of you guys think it's a lot wider than that. Who thinks it's smaller than 5 inches? Okay? We have one enthusiastic teacher who thinks he has the right answer. The answer is lightning is 3/4 of an inch. If you could catch lightning, you could hold it in your hand like that. Good guy, good guy. Hey, so just so you know, most kids think it's huge. And so they're saying it's as big as this room, it's a mile. You guys were actually really close. You're the closest you've been all year. So good job, guys. Good job. Okay, one last demonstration here that I need help with. Okay, come on up. Yep, sure. What's your name?
Alexandra.
Alexandra. Everyone say hi to Alexandra. Okay, so Alexandra, we're gonna play an acting game here, okay? Alexandra is going to be a bad kid. Can you be a bad kid?
Yes.
Okay, she gets it's acting. Okay, and in bad kid is bad decisions. All right? So, it's raining outside, and Alexandra is playing. Alexandra, her character, loves rain. So she's like, yay! It's raining. Now, lightning strikes over there. It takes 25 seconds for that sound of thunder to get here. That's how many miles? You guys are great at math. Good job. 5 miles away. Alexandra's like, that is far away. I don't care. I'm going to play. Yay! Now something happens. All of a sudden, you're kind of tall for this, but all of a sudden, Alexandra's hair, after that lightning strike, goes straight up. Alexandra, what is going on? Oh, wait. Oh, you're going to answer? Okay, hold on. Alexandra has an answer. Okay, ready? Alexandra, what's going on?
The electricity and like the frizzy of the hair, like it just like it's the static.
Static? Good. These are all good things. Here's what's happening. And I'll show you the graphic in just a second. Lightning, some lightning strikes go straight from the sky to the ground. Some lightning strikes go from the ground to the sky. So what happened with Alexandra is lightning picked her as a target. The lightning strike has already started. And so the electricity volt is now starting to come up, static electricity, excuse me, I've got a cough, something in my throat. And then what's going to happen is once that connection is made up here, it's bad news for Alexandra. So let me show you this. Thank you, Alexandra, good job. Sometimes lightning goes up and down. So it's called an upward streamer leader. So here's Alexandra, or here's a tree. Those positive and negative charges are going up. The imbalance, the lightning is coming down about 2 seconds later. So if that were to happen in real life, Alexandra would have about 2 seconds to get as low as she could and hope that the lightning hits over there, and then that the lightning strike, the floor current doesn't hurt her. But that's how quick it happens, 2 seconds. But lightning is actually hitting here. It's not hitting the ground because it's coming from the ground and the sky. How hot is lightning? How hot is lightning? I'm just going to give you the answer here because we're running out of time. The sun is 10,000 degrees, the surface of the sun. On a day like today, we'll be at 84. Lightning is 50,000 degrees. So the electricity's dangerous, but the burns are also incredibly dangerous. How I forecast the weather? Come on up. I have radar, I have satellite. This is a hook echo. On Monday, I saw a couple of these hook echoes when I was talking about tornadoes. You have recording stations. You have surface map, high pressure. You have rain on weather models. And I also look outside. If the rock is wet, it's raining. If the rock is swaying, it's windy. If the rock is hot, it's sunny. If the rock is cool, it's overcast. If the rock is white, it's snowing. If the rock is blue, it's cold. If the rock is gone, tornado. Oh, you know what? Hey, if Todd, if you could switch my computer to show the kids so they can see themselves. I did text Todd, but let me call him just in case he didn't hear me. So Todd, if you could switch my computer to show them themselves. Then I make the graphics, and then I go on TV. Hey Todd, can you switch over the computer so the kids can see themselves? Now it's your turn. You're going to do the weather for your city, give the current temperatures, what's the weather today, and what's going to happen tomorrow. Are you guys ready to see this? Yeah. Okay, who's first? We have, is it Huntley is first? Yeah. Okay, so Huntley, we're going to give this a couple seconds because I need Todd to switch over so you can see yourself. Okay? So I'm going to hold this. Let's just get ready. Okay, there you go. Okay, when your shot is set, go ahead and start, and you're good to go. So I'm going to get out of the way, and then you go ahead and you look at the camera, and when the shot is set, you're ready to go. It's not set yet, but when it is, you're ready to go. Oh, thanks.
Do I go now? Okay. Hi, my name's Huntley Funderburg, and this is our weather out in Cyprus. So you can see that we have our future track right here, and there's going to be some thunderstorms. Here's it throughout Thursday. Okay, and then, so tonight is going to be